I wanted to continue to be self-employed. So that was our first time in it. And we ended up, doing very well with that company and did over $200 million in team sales. And obviously the commissions on that were multiple millions of dollars. But like so many businesses, it aged out and got old, and the owners closed it up. It was privately owned. And about just 3 years ago, we found ourselves free agents in network marketing and looking for our next long-term home. And after doing research, LifeVantage was clearly the best place to go and the company that had the kind of future we were looking for. So we're Elite Pro 8s, with the business now. And
sorry, let me try and get some of these folks off. Make sure that you mute as you come on board, Joanne, and I went ahead and muted you out for you.
So anyway, it's been 3 years here. We've had, great success. We couldn't have picked a better place. And the one area of expertise, and I think the reason that April and I have gotten so friendly with you, is we worked a lot with doctors in the past. And even though we have high school educations, that seem to be a niche that we excelled in, and we kind of gravitate towards doctors. So, but I think what folks want to hear tonight is your background, because it's not every day that you get to hear from a reconstructive breast surgeon, plastic surgeon with your kind of education that is doing network marketing full time. So why don't you tell the audience a little about yourself, Dr. Glasser?
Sure. So Dr. Rebecca Glasser, I've been a plastic surgeon now it's been over 20 years. I spent most of my career doing breast cancer reconstruction. That's my passion, and I think it's perfect that this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month to be talking about some of these topics. But I, like many people, I've loved my career. It's been an incredibly rewarding career, but also very time consuming. And, sometimes you are married to your job instead of to your family. And for me recently, my new husband as of 3 weeks ago. So one of the things that really attracted me to this company was certainly the science, but also the lifestyle and the ability to get my time back. Because I was in the hospital 5 to 7 days a week. I was on call 24 hours a day. And quite frankly, that's not sustainable. So I was looking for something different. I was really looking for being able to spend time with my family. So, so with that, I think what we'll do is I'm going to share my screen, and we'll cover a little bit of the science and a little bit more on the company. So just hang with me just a minute while I tee up this slideshow. So let's go all the way back up to the top. I should have rebooted that, and we will get started. So, so the company that Bobby and I are both distributors with and elite distributors within the company is a company called LifeVantage. And, what I love about this company is we're really looking at things from a scientific standpoint to figure out how we can flip the switch at a cellular level within the body. Because I think that traditional medicine, from the time I trained 30 years ago, we do a lot of things to put Band-Aids on problems. And we do very little to look at things at a cellular level to try to address the root cause of disease and do something about that in the world of the present, but also in the future from a preventative standpoint. So we're looking at flipping some switches within the cell. So one of the things I want you all to get a concept of is the fact that you know, I feel we all are being hijacked on a daily basis. I mean, 2020 has certainly been the year where we all feel pretty hijacked. Certainly in our food and water, but environmentally, you know, pollution, sun damage, but let's face it, COVID viruses being attacked in our surroundings, you know, I think we're all feeling very hijacked these days, where we just don't feel like we have control. You know, everything is going on around us from a health standpoint, but also from a wealth standpoint when you talk to business owners, because we have lost control of what's going on because of COVID and what's going on within the world. So how does that feel? Well, I think a lot of you all are experiencing some of these things. You know, we're worried about our immune system, most certainly. We feel like we have a brain fog. I mean, we just don't function in the manner that we used to. We feel sluggish, we have fatigue. There is so much stress going on in the world, and I think everyone would agree stress will kill you. And it affects our mood and it affects our motivation. And so that's this idea of being hijacked. And so in the medical world, what we look at is we look at what's called oxidative stress. And I'm a plastic surgeon, so I'm very much a visual person. But what I want you all to think about is oxidative stress is just a fancy word for your body's rusting from the inside out. So it would just be like if you took a piece of metal and you left that metal outside, that metal would rust. Or here in the picture, if you took an apple and you took a bite out of that apple would brown or age. And that same image is what's going on at a cellular level inside of your body. And so that's what we're really trying to address. And so one of the first ways that we looked at flipping the switch was by creating our very first product. And this has been around since 2003. And this is called Protandim Nerf 2. And so that statement there, that Protandim Nerf 2 reduces oxidative stress on average 40% in 30 days, to me, it's getting rid of the rust. It's helping get rid of that browning, that aging, all those things that are occurring at a cellular level within your body. And so again, we want to bring this apple back to good cellular health. We want to make it whole again. We want to get rid of that browning. And so what I love about Nerf 2 is the fact that it's been extensively studied. This is a great statement by Washington State University, which says essentially that Nerf 2 may be the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine. Because what Nerf 2 does is it flips a switch on a set of genes that are called your survival genes. And you don't have to be a doctor to know that survival genes are a wonderful thing. So those survival genes are things like antioxidant enzymes, and I kind of think of them like little Pac-Men, which are running around and gobbling up free radicals and reducing oxidative stress, but also anti-inflammatory enzymes to help normalize inflammation. So again, as we're trying to attack that root cause of disease, and inflammation is certainly one of those problems, along with oxidative stress. But what we learned is there's a lot of switches within the cell. So another switch that we think about is our mitochondria. And what happens is it's kind of like this battery. It loses its power over time. The battery just becomes drained. And that happens to us as we age. We become drained. We don't have the energy that we used to when we were younger because those mitochondria become damaged. They break down, they die off. And so what's our solution? Again, we want to flip this switch. We want to get into genetics to turn on the NRF1 pathway and increase the strength and the number of our mitochondria. So how do we experience this? Well, We notice more energy, which is amazing, but also it helps with sleep, particularly what we think of as deep sleep or REM sleep, when the body is able to rest and to recover. Okay, so again, we're trying to refill that battery. We're trying to recharge up that battery. And you can see that by taking this Protandim Nerf 1, one of the genes that we're talking about, we're flipping that switch and it's going up by nearly 70%. Now, the third switch that we're going to talk about is our sirtuins, or what we think of as NAD. And I think this is a great picture. Again, I'm a visual person. So think of an engine, and that engine just gets clogged over time. There's just a lot of gunk in it, all right? And so what happens is our body, ourselves, we can't de-gunk the cell anymore. It just doesn't run as smoothly. It's just full of waste and toxins within it. And so again, we want to flip that switch. We want to turn on those survival genes. And by doing so, you know, we're increasing the sirtuin activity 100% within 24 hours. So again, we're de-gunking the cell. We're cleaning up the cell so it runs more efficiently. So this is multiple switches that we're talking about. On the left is the NAD switch, in the middle is the Nerf1 switch, on the right is the Nerf2 switch. And again, the idea is, how can we address the root cause of disease? How can we make our cells function at a better level? And the beautiful thing about this is when you flip all three switches at the same time, they work in synergy. They work in conjunction with each other in order to get a better outcome. It's a system. So this is called our Protandim Tri-Synergizer. So it's Nerf2, NAD, and Nerf1. And again, they work together in order to create a better result. Now, what happens when you flip all these switches? Well, here's some of the things that I think, again, we're all looking for. We're looking for an improvement in mood and motivation, healthy longevity. Nerf2 and NAD, there's studies that show that this increases life. It improves mental focus and concentration. How many of us have trouble with focusing these days? Mental and physical energy. Again, I think that's one we all experience as we age, but you can imagine even for athletes or college students, how this would be beneficial. Supports a healthy inflammatory response. This is such a strong statement because, again, it doesn't matter what problem you're talking about, what disease you're talking about. Anything with an itis means inflammation. But also when you look at most disease states, the problem is inflammation. So whether it's arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disease, it doesn't matter. All of them are related to inflammation. And then finally, it supports a healthy vascular system. This is just a small segment of what these products do. And what I love about this is because it's all based on genetics, each of us gets a different result because each of our genetics is different. But when you really look at our company, obviously the anti-aging industry is huge. And so we talked about the Tri-Synergizer, but we've used the same technology of Nerf2, and we've created hair care and skin care and pet care and energy drinks. And of course, we're also looking at gut health and weight loss. And when you look at this industry, it's a $600 billion industry that we're talking about here. So Bobby, you know, I'm going to have you jump on now and kind of talk about what about the business? You know, we talk about improving health, but we also talk about improving wealth in 2020.
Great job, Dr. Glasser. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay. You know, it's funny. I've heard the presentation before, but it's amazing how many light bulbs continue to get turned on every time you hear it again. You know, it's amazing and very well done. You know, what I've experienced, April and I, is, you know, we've been in this industry a long time. It's, you know, it's been 28 years. We were 25 years with our other company. And this is really important, okay? And I'd really like everybody to understand this because it's very important. Every industry has changed over time, okay? Industries just evolve. I don't care what you're doing for a living. If you've been doing it for 15, 20, 25, 30 years, you've watched it change and you've watched it evolve. And network marketing is no different. But here's the difference, okay? You know, years ago, it was all about inviting people, I used to say dragging people to a hotel meeting or getting them to come to an office because you wanted them to hear, you know, a really good presenter. You had a good speaker in front of the room. And one thing I want the audience to know now is two things happened with this virus. Okay, number one, everybody's security blanket, you know, like Linus has a security blanket, everybody's blanket was stolen, okay, due to the virus. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, our comfort level, our comfort zone was tampered with, okay? We don't have the kind of security and comfort that we thought we did because one virus came along and all of a sudden a country gets shut down, jobs get eliminated, and everything changes. You know, so many companies realize, wow, we don't need the big buildings anymore. We can let people work from home. We can save money. Everything changed. Now, I'm sharing that with you because I want to talk to you about the LifeVantage opportunity. And whether you were fortunate enough to keep your job, you're back to work, or not, I believe in the future, in the very near future, everybody that didn't have a backup plan is going to be looking for one. And everybody that got their job back is going to be looking for a backup plan or an alternative should something ever happen again. And having said that, okay, we all know people that came out of this really good. We all know people that are still suffering from you know, what happened due to the virus, okay? So LifeVantage, in my opinion, and in many people's opinions, you know, we have the perfect model, okay? The perfect business model where it allows you to work from home or anywhere you choose. You know, we like to work from the beach. We used to enjoy working from the ball field when our son was playing baseball. But it gives you a chance to work from anywhere. And we do it because we have a virtual office, okay? There's just minimal business assets needed. You know, if you got a computer, if you have a smartphone, you can do this business. There's no inventory requirements about the products that Dr. Glasser was talking about because we're a subscription business. You know, we run our business a lot like Facebook and Airbnb and Uber and Amazon. You know, we're one of those online companies and, you know, it's a very low entry cost to get involved. It's not many thousands of dollars in startup costs to start a business. And I'll go over that in a second. But what's great about this business is we can get paid for what we are already doing every day of our lives. And that's, we talk about things we like, things we enjoy, things we experience. We always refer and recommend people to places, things, and items that we enjoy and we like, okay? So it's a social sharing business and a chance for you to get paid for things that you're already doing naturally anyway. You're gonna have your own personal online store. We have the opportunity to earn immediate income, getting paid every day, every week, and every month, okay? And my favorite part, we get to travel. Not only do we get to travel on business, okay, when we're doing business, but the company does a lot with incentive trips for, you know, for incentivizing distributors to grow their business and take us all over the world. So it's really the perfect model. Could you switch, Dr. Glasser?
Trying to get it to switch.
That's okay. No hurry. It liked you and it didn't like me, I guess.
Yes, for some reason it just doesn't want to go right now. Let me
well, I'll just keep talking while you get it to come up. Perfect. Is that okay?
Yes.
So, you know, what I'm going to share with you, and this is really, really important, and I really would appreciate it if everyone gave a little extra thought to this. This is a business that everybody can do, okay? Everybody. You don't need a lot of special skills to do this business. Now, years ago, and I'll go back to my first experience where April and I spent 25 years in another company, okay, you really kind of needed some special skills. You know, you needed some gifts for talking in front of the room. You needed some special skills to invite people and actually get them to attend a meeting. You know, you needed some special skills in explaining maybe how the business model worked or how the, you know, how the product worked. Well, here's what's changed, okay? What's changed is that you and I now have the opportunity to share information in the most professional manner as quickly as tapping our phone. Okay, so think about this. Years ago, I would be inviting someone to attend a meeting, maybe at the Holiday Inn or the Marriott or whatever, and I'd be spending all my time following up, trying to make sure that that person attended the meeting, and maybe I'd have 3, 4, 5 people invited, and I'd be hoping 1 or 2 would show up. Okay, let's compare that to today. All of our information is now available on video, on YouTube, on Facebook, in a virtual back office, an app on your phone, text message, email. How many people do you think you can share a video or information with from an app on your phone or text messaging or email? See, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, a day or a week if you choose, okay? And that's why when you look at the average earnings here, we are a publicly traded company. We are on the NASDAQ, okay? You can look up LifeVantage, it's LFVN, okay? You can look it up. But these are our published earnings, okay? We have, you know, to report quarterly to the stock exchange, and these numbers are verified. So what I'd like you to look at is the second column where it says average monthly commissions. Take a look at that and go down the column and look and see what an extra 200 a month, 600 a month, 1,500 a month, 3,000 a month, 6,000 a month, whatever number, what number would it take for things to begin to change for you? Okay, what's the number? You know, would $600 cover the car payment? Okay, well, that's a Pro 3 in our business, okay? That's somebody whose team is doing a combined $5,000 a month in sales. You know, that could be 100 people ordering $50 worth of product, or 50 people ordering $100 or 100 points, which is the Tri-Synergizer, okay? Maybe you want to pay the rent, so that's $1,500. That's our Pro 4. Well, that's a team doing $20,000 in business. Okay, so that could be 100 people doing $200 worth of business. See, it's an entire team, and the total they do generates that earnings. And that's not even counting the upfront money. And write this number down. This is very important. Anything that you or I do personally, we earn a 40% commission, 40%. So when I introduce a new customer, that first month, I get a 40% commission and I get paid no later than 1 week. I introduce a new distributor to the business, I get 40% no later than 1 week later. And we could go up to Pro 7, Pro 8, Pro 9. April and I have been in business. It was just our 3-year anniversary. We're Pro 8s in the business now. And you can look at that number there. Okay. So what I want you thinking about is this: how many times have you given thought, okay, to boy, I wish, and whether it was a car payment, a tuition payment, a rent payment, a mortgage payment, or retirement help? Okay, how many times have you thought about that? And we have a business model that we can show you and the tools that we can give you. Can we get the next slide, Dr. Glasser? Now, look at this, okay? This is your 4 options. This is all you can spend. Okay, there's a distributor kit that costs $50 and you could, order whatever product you want. But we got 3 great packages. We have a silver package that's $350. You're getting $500 worth of product. A gold package that's $650. You're getting almost $1,000 worth of product. And a platinum pack that's $1,250. That's the most you can spend, and you're getting over $1,900, okay, worth of product. A full assortment of the product line. And give me the next one, Rebecca. Okay. And give me the next one. Okay. This is why, if you have any question on whether you can do this or not, I'm not being funny here, but I want to ask you a question. Can you use a smartphone? Can you turn on your computer? If you don't have a membership for Facebook, can you join? It's free. Okay. I mean, I'm talking about everything that you need to do this business. This company has available to you. It comes with it when you get started, and the mentoring comes from the team you're working with. Okay. So we have global customer support. We have a simple to follow. You may call it an inviting system or recruiting system. We refer to it as our ITT system. But this is the how-to, how to get started in the business, how to make it work. We have regular team meetings and Zooms like this, okay, where we're training on different skill sets, mindsets, leadership. There's corporate events. Okay, well, the next one is in 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, but we're doing it virtually because of the COVID thing. But our regular trips are starting in December and are going to continue through next year. All kinds of incentives and perks. The company is always running bonus programs. Now, for any of you that are maybe on the fence thinking about doing this, let me share something with you. You know that 40% commission that I said you get when you enroll a customer or you personally enroll a distributor? You know what? From now through the end of the year, that's more like 70%. If you can get 5 new customers or 5 new distributors in a calendar month, because the company set up a bonus pool for anybody that gets 5 new enrollees, okay, in the business. And this month, that ended up equaling, the September number ended up equaling an extra 30%. So you add that to the 40. Think about that. A 70% commission on what you do personally between now and the end of the year. Okay, so I don't know. I understand that, can I do this? If you're thinking about the old way of doing things and you need to explain it, you need to, drag people to a hotel. You need to spend all your time and energy doing that. But I'm telling you, this is different. This is social selling. This is endorsing. This is just doing what you already do with sharing things you like and enjoy with people you care about. That's how you do the business. The tools that you need to be good at it are provided for you. So Rebecca, would you put us both back on the screen? Can you do that? Absolutely. And we'll finish up. So I want to ask you a question, Doctor. I think you and I are probably about as far apart on the spectrum as you could get as far as being different. April and I have high school educations. We've always been self-employed and basically entrepreneurs at heart. I call you a brainiac, okay? You got your medical schooling at Chapel Hill of all places, okay? You're a plastic surgeon at the top of your game, extremely bright. So I'm kind of on the street smart side growing up in New York. You're a highly educated plastic surgeon. You're doing this and I'm doing this, okay? Now I could see them understanding why I do this. I had a business go bankrupt. It's kind of why not? I needed something to do. But why are you doing this?
Yeah, you know, I think it's important to realize that in this day and age, there is no safe, secure job. You know, when I look at my buddies through COVID, well, they stopped all elective procedures for 7 weeks. So all of my buddies who are in plastic surgeons, they were out of work for 7 weeks, but they still had their brick and mortar and they still had to pay all the bills during that period of time. And so I think that, again, what I like about this company is it is very science driven, but you don't have to be a doctor in order to be successful in the business. All you have to do is you have to work hard, and you have to be teachable and coachable, and you have to envision a better life for yourself. So, you know, to me, this was my out. You know, I think as let's say, for example, you looked at the stock market and someone said, okay, I want all my stock in just this one bin. I want to go with Microsoft. I'm going to put all my money right there. But really, the truth of it that we've all learned over the years with the stock market is diversification is the key. And so when you diversify and you have multiple businesses, and that's so typical for an entrepreneur to have multiple businesses. So if one goes down, the other one goes up. But I think, again, we have all learned, whether it was in the 2009 recession, which I made it through in private practice, or whether it's COVID, I think we're all starting to realize that it's so important to have multiple streams of income in different arenas, but it has to be something that you love. It has to be something that you believe in. And the truth of it is you and Bobby, you and I, we believe in this. We believe in the science. We believe in these products. We know what these products can do. It is so simple to share this because we just want to help people. But we also both are business people, and we see how important it is to diversify income. In a year when there's no stability anywhere, this is stable.
Well, I'm going to close it up, but what I want to share with everybody tonight is what you just heard Dr. Glasser say in regards to product, science, credibility. All of that is on video. It's on, you know, things that you could share with people. We have an amazing story on how we began on ABC Primetime. See, not only that, this has been recorded and will be edited and posted for your use also. So it's not a one-time thing if you didn't see it live. But what I want you to do is get with the person who shared this link with you, whether you're watching a replay or you saw it live, and get yourself enrolled and start using the tools that we're talking about, okay? You know, I had a mentor. I guarantee you Dr. Glasser had mentors, you know, in medicine as she went through the various stages of becoming a successful plastic surgeon. I had mentors in my career too, and we want to mentor you, okay? But you got to join and get involved, and the mentoring and teaching will be there. So Dr. Glasser, thanks for inviting us. I like the combination of a high school and plastic surgeon. I think that's a good one. But thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And again, just make sure you get in touch with the person who invited you to tonight's webinar. We hope to do these again, so stay tuned. All right. Good night.